What's going on, everybody? It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and it's time for ProperRoyals Live. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I can't believe it. It is since I've done like a full show with guests and a full-length show, it has been nearly a month. It was June 13th when Charlie from Gray Rider was on, and I was the last host. I took vacation, a little sabbatical, a little refresher, refresh the fill the cup up kind of deal. And I had a great time. And again, super huge thanks to Courtney, Steven, Charlie from Renae, and also Kevin from Brad Boa Reptiles for filling in for me while I was gone. Thanks for keeping the ship afloat. But it is time for me to get, back in the saddle and get on with it. We got Portuguese Pythons on tonight. That's Renae and Danny from out in Chino, California. They're fresh off the Anaheim show. And they have, the theme tonight was going big. I have to find what the algorithm thinks it's going to like. So I use these SEO terms, but that one struck gold when I put ball pythons go big. So that's what we went with. But we'll get to know Danny and Renae tonight. We'll get a show report from Anaheim, and then we're going to dig into their business model, how they built what they have, what the past was like for them, and what the future looks like. So we'll dig into all of those topics tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. We got 24 out of the gate. I appreciate that. I want to say thanks to everybody in the audience. Hey, Lauren, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while. Glad that you're doing well in here. Keith K. I don't know if I know Keith K. I might know Keith K. Good to see you. And Casey, welcome. Casey is a Patreon member. You can also check out the offerings on Patreon. There's a LinkTree link down below for ProperRoyals, and that will get you everywhere that I am. Everybody hear me all right? Put a comment in there. It says that I typed in a comment a minute ago and it said it has trouble connecting. That doesn't sound like it bodes well for a live show, but there's still 28 of y'all here. So I guess you would have left if not. So that's cool. Serpent House, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Cisco Snakes, I think you might be a newcomer. Thank you. Glad to have you. Welcome all of Portuguese Pythons, friends that maybe came over from their platforms. They were great about sharing the links today. Huge thanks for that. What's up, Ken? How you doing, man? Hyperspace Reptiles. That's pretty cool. I have seen that logo before. Thanks. Welcome back. And anybody else? I'm not very good at all these shout outs. I just read people's names. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Loud and clear. Hear you fine. Perfect. Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here. It means a lot. Otherwise, it's just me, talking into a microphone. I could just put up a mirror and do that. So I look forward to your comments, your feedback, all that. Thanks for hanging out. I really look forward to this on Tuesday nights. It's become a pretty special thing. Let's get to these announcements so that we can get on with the show. I got a lot going on. I have teased in the past week or so, and maybe even longer. I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I knew those of y'all that haven't been following along with the show, I'm a restaurant consultant as well and hospitality consultant. And one of my big projects finished up before I went on vacation. And I'm not planning on picking up that full responsibility again with that particular client, which means I have a little more time on my hands, which is what I wanted to have as hatchling season starts and show season picks up. But one of the things that I kind of had an itch to do was to do a morning show of ProperRoyals. So I will keep ProperRoyals live on Tuesday nights, but there's going to be a morning version, and it's to have a bunch of fun. So even the title is goofy and tongue in cheek, but it's going to be called Proper Cup of Joe on Thursday mornings at 7:30 a.m. I'm going to go at it the first feat's going to be dragging myself out of bed and being coherent by 7:30 Eastern in the mornings. And my buddy Joe is going to join me. He is not a reptile guy. He's going to co-host it with me. He's one of the best conversationalists that I've ever interacted with. I've known Joe at least 10 years. His partner is a dear old friend of mine that I went to high school with. She and I have known each other for coming up on 30 years anyhow. And Joe's just a great guy and a really, really almost like a Renaissance man of knowledge and insight. So you'll see what I mean. But it's really going to be kind of a reptile person and a non-reptile person interacting and talking about the topics, and, you know, kind of like what all of us deal with every day in our daily lives when somebody's like, wait, you do what? You breed ball pythons? And then the stories ensue. Why not make a show out of it? So check it out. July 20th, 7:30 a.m. We will run on Thursday mornings at 7:30 a.m. Proper Cup of Joe coming up. Check it out. I also got inspired by Jeremy Warfel's cookout that I noticed in October in Northeast Florida, or almost anywhere in Florida, there is not a reptile show. And Tinley is at the beginning of the month, and then middle of the month here in Jacksonville, we have something called the Air and Sea Show. It's like the Blue Angels, and the town goes nuts. It's a big military town, so can't do anything out at the beach then. And then the following weekend is the Florida Georgia weekend, but there's one weekend in there where there's no shows for the month, and a Saturday where we could sneak in a Northeast Florida breeders meetup. So I went down to the biggest and my top 1 or 2 favorite pubs down in Jack's Beach. They have a private room that's actually sponsored by Tullamore Dew, which is pretty cool, and a private patio. And they are happy to welcome us and give us private space to geek out. But we get the full amenities of the bar. We'll have a private bar, bathrooms, we can order food. It's all on whoever comes, but it's free. Everybody's welcome, and I'll have more details on that. But October 14th, mark your calendars. Maybe you make a weekend of a getaway to Jack's Beach. You know, Jacksonville has its perks. It's still cheap enough that you could do a getaway for the weekend and not go broke like you would maybe in Miami or Tampa or Clearwater or wherever. So October 14th, I'm pretty pumped about that. I have some vendor breeder sales ideas, but I'm going to keep those under wraps right now. I got to get that out there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll come up tonight. We'll see. I got a new sponsor. You'll see his logo. That's Kreative Genetics. That's Keith. He's also out in California, and I want to say Bakersfield, but maybe not. I know he's certainly near Paso Robles, a little farther north up the state in the central area there. Keith is he has for sale right here, right now. Keith at Kreative Genetics, his link is down below in the descriptions. He has a stranger het VPI female available, pos het clown, and I believe pos het hypo as well. Let me check. Let me get this right. Stranger het VPI, pos het hypo clown female. That's a 2023. I'll tell you more about him when we do our all sponsor stuff, but check out Keith if that's something that's up your alley. I don't want to make promises on his behalf, but my understanding is there's what do you call it, a motivated seller. He'd like to move that snake if you are interested in that. So check it out. Next week on the show, I got Steve Casino, same time, same place, and I will let you all know the guests after that. I'm working on some scheduling things for guests after that. This month, end of the month, I'll be in Orlando Repticon. Come out, hang out. It's a great show. Outside of Daytona, Orlando and Tampa are my 2 favorite shows. And Orlando is always a good show. It's right in the central part of the state, so it's pretty close and accessible to a lot of places. And then, of course, we're 5 weeks out from Daytona. I'll be vending Daytona this year as well. And then I actually have a busy week of I just stay busy. I'm just happy staying busy, I think, is what I've decided. I just can't sit still. Thursday, I'm pumped. I saw, I believe it's Jessica, but maybe Jana. I'm not sure who's under the Hold Back Rack podcast handle, but I will be on the Hold Back Rack podcast with Jessica and Jana this Thursday, this very one, less than 48 hours. Now, 1 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on with them. And I believe it was pitched to me as a Chatty Cathy episode. So there you go. That's real. I'm Adam. ProperRoyals is really what comes to mind when we think of Chatty Cathy. So we're gonna have some opinions. I don't know what we're talking about, but there will be opinions. Saturday night, I am playing live July 15th at Finn McCool's Irish Pub. I'll be playing with my duo, myself and a fiddle player. Then Let's see, Monday the 24th, I am going to be on a podcast called PUI, Podcasting Under the Influence. I'm branching out here, guys. I'm trying new things, getting out of my comfort zone. That's with Celtic Balls, Jeff and Angie. We had a great time in Pennsylvania together up at Jeremy Warfel's. I will be on their podcast Monday evening, July 24th. I had a new clutch hatch this week. Pretty cool. Banana pastel hypo het pieds. I got 6 of them. Banana pastel hypo het pied. All 6 of them are those genes, unless there's something I don't know about going on in there. I'll see them when they crawl out. But I got a clutch of that. If you're not interested in the banana of that, I do have 2 pastel hypo hepides in the clutch as well. So that's a pretty fun clutch. 8 altogether. I'm going to hold back 3 of those. So 5 of those babies will be available. I'll quit bombarding you with announcements. That's enough right now. For anything I might have missed or anything that you want to know more about, check out my ProperRoyals LinkTree link down in the description. Portuguese Pythons. There's like, in one way, the internet makes us nationwide, international community. But in other ways, like, we tend to interact with the people that are closest to us and most regional, and that we run across every now and again at shows and stuff. So a lot of times I feel pretty separated from the West Coast, and I should make an effort. I mean, twist my arm, give me a reason to fly into LAX and head down to Anaheim, right? Like, I need to just do that. But my point being, I don't always stay as up to date with some of the breeders out West. So I found out about Portuguese Pythons through Jason Kittinger, and I'm a pretty big believer in the birds of a feather kind of philosophy, and the Kittingers are just fantastic people. Man, they're such good people. Jason is fantastic. His wife, his sister, just incredibly welcoming to me, both figuratively and into like the community and them being on my show, but also literally. I mean, at the shows, they're great. I dined with them last Daytona. Consumed quite a lot of alcohol with them. It was a great time. And so I found out about Portuguese Pythons through them. Got in touch with Portuguese Pythons. Like, it's been a while. I don't know, and 4, 6, 8 months. That's quite a while. And we've been playing schedule games, family schedules, kids, logistics, all that, just all the life that happens, you know. And they popped up a couple of weeks ago and said, "Hey, we're available." And I was like, fantastic, because I'm on vacation and I've been slacking. So let's get you on the show. So without further ado, thank you all so much for being here. Please welcome for the very first time to the ProperRoyals stage. That's Renae and Danny from Chino, California. That is Portuguese Pythons. Cheers, guys. How are you?
Hello.
I can't believe it. I kept my yapper to the 15 minutes I planned. I really was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get all this done in 15 minutes, but here we are, 8:15. We're doing this thing. It's on. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm really happy to have you all. And like I say, it's something I've been looking forward to. And Jason just spoke incredibly highly of you. So I'm looking forward to it. And then, like, you know, you click on your Instagram page or just see the racks behind you, which I saw some in the green room earlier. There's a lot more than just what's behind you. So it's pretty cool. It's intriguing. Give those of us that might not know you, give us the elevator pitch or the introduction. Tell us who you are, what you got going on.
All right, my name is Danny. This is Renae. We own Portuguese Pythons. And I guess it all started in 2018. We went to go pick up 17, 18, almost 18. We picked up a ball python. And then I think a few weeks later, we picked up a corn snake. And now we're here.
Sorry, you cut out at the very end there. You picked up a ball python and a corn snake.
And then now we're here.
Ta-da! Yeah, I gotcha. So when did y'all decide that you were going to start breeding? What year was that around? Was that pre-pandemic?
Yeah, I think you started breeding them in 2018.
Yeah.
And then first clutch like 2019, like maybe 1 or 2 clutches. And then he saw the potential, then showed me the potential. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So then, like, hit it hard. And 2020 was, I think we had how many? 12 clutches?
12, I think it was 11.
Okay. 11 clutches in 2020, and then it just kept going.
Gotcha. And so catch us up to today. How many clutches will you do you anticipate having this year? I realize we're in the middle of the season, but how many do you anticipate having this year?
As of right now, 32. But there's still some females that are on the fence.
Sure. So 180-ish babies coming up.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, we're projected to do between 45 and 50.
But we had a little room move, some reabsorptions, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So when you say you were anticipating 50, was 50 the pairings that you did, or you paired like 60 and you thought you'd get 50? What's your math? What do you usually go on that?
50 pairings, but 45 to 50 look like they were going to go, but based on what the follicle size was, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So they're all showing growth, like where they're either just starting to grow a little bit or already kind of going to like 10s and 11s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you usually find yourself in that, like 85 to 90% range of your pairings going?
This year's weird because we moved rooms. So it's like, it's just random. We don't know if it's normal until next season. That makes sense.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, like last season, like how many did you pair and how many went type of thing? Like what percentage?
34 clutches last year. How many did you pair?
I don't know. I don't know the number of pairings. I didn't look at, like, based on how many we paired to how many we had. I didn't look at that last year.
Oh, okay. That stuff drives me nuts. I don't know why, but I constantly like my first year, only 50% went. But like you said, I moved like not just moved a room, like I moved 3 states kind of thing in May. So that'll throw things off. Last year was around 66%. And this year I'm trending right now to right at 70. So, I mean, I'm getting better, but I'm still not in that 85 to 90%. Like if you were pairing 50 and anticipating getting 45 to 50, that's pretty high up.
Yeah. But how many of those are first year females?
Quite.
Yeah. So if you have first year females, there's already a 50-50 chance they're going to go anyways. Right. So if you're grouping them into the same group as your proven breeders, then your numbers are going to be off. So you got to look at your proven breeders and see what those numbers are. And then your first year females are always going to be off, right? There's no basis.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair point. That makes me feel better. That's encouraging. That's a nice little like chin up at them. That's pretty cool. There you go.
Yeah, but think about it too. If you have a year that you saw a lot of proven breeders, that next season is going to be all over the place, where it's going to be really good or really bad because the girls don't decide to go because they're all younger.
Yeah. Do you put in planned years off, or do you just let them decide when they're going to take a year off? So like I've got a breeder that's bred all 3 seasons for me now. She's fantastic. I'd breed her again immediately, and I want to, but on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know.
I think like this season we put all of our breeders into the plan, and then like ultrasound once a month, see how they're doing, how they're eating, and we're like, oh, she's not going to go. Let's just counter out. So we plan for it and watch it as the season progresses. But then if they're not looking like it, okay, she's done for the year.
Sure. But you don't do any that you just purposely leave completely on the sidelines? No. Good. Well, then I'm going to feed her and let her decide if she wants to make babies or not. That's pretty good.
But you have the ultrasound now, right? You have the ultrasound.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
If they're building, they're going to go. You know what I mean? So there's no point. If they're building, they might as well just pair them up anyways if they're going to build.
Yeah. Oh, well, and I guess that's a good point. I guess I didn't know like if they would build and it was a good idea to just give them a break, whether they were building or not, or, but you're saying some of them will just completely not build anyhow.
Even with
prerogative.
Yeah.
Well, that explains some behavior of some of the females this year. When you're ultrasounding, you're like, man, follicles, nothing. I'm like searching. I'm like, there's just nothing there. What's going on? And she laid last year, but I guess maybe that's the example of her just not building at all then.
I think you just got to give up, right? Like I think in the beginning, like we'd sit there for like 15 minutes and you're just like, and you start getting frustrated and like so now it's like, if you don't find it right away, or if you don't see it, we're just like, put it back. You know what I mean?
Just move on. Yeah.
If you're in the right spot and you're going to see them, they're going to be there, right? Whether they're big or small so it's just don't waste time.
Was it, I want to say maybe it was your video, but maybe not. Did you all post an Instagram reel of one of you holding the snake down and then the other one ultrasounding it with like 5 in a row?
No, I don't think so.
No, it was great because like I try and ultrasound like in the tub, and then I have my wife like click the button. But these folks had like one of them holding the snake straight while the other one with the wand was just like zip. Yep, that's it. Boom, zip, that's it. And with the floor clicker, I was like, man, that's the setup right there.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have like a little routine here, but
yeah, we should just keep like pull the tub on the table and then ultrasound. She records there. She normally freezes it for me, and then she takes the readings, and I put it back, get a new one, just keep going that way.
Yeah, that's what Kelly and I do. She handles the input on the computer and the click on the ultrasound, and then I handle the snake and cleaning up and all of that. So, okay, so and sorry, we got on a little tangent there. So 38 clutches this year, you think?
32.
Yeah, 30.
Hopefully more.
But we got our ultrasound in a few days, and we'll see if some of those girls that were on the fence are going to go or not.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, did you say you're going to ultrasound, or you're getting an ultrasound in a couple
Going
days?
Going to.
Okay, I was like, well, I thought you had it. Well, maybe it was out on loan. Like maybe you're like, that's a community one, man. It's not our turn right now. Just actually not a bad idea if there's a good group of breeders around and like a really expensive ultrasound. That actually, and it's too late. I already bought mine, but
yeah, because we only use ours once a month. I mean, once in a while we get, if it depends on what's going on, we might do a week early. If the kids are somewhere, we have time, but it's usually try around once a month.
Yeah, I've been doing about every 3 weeks. Some for extra practice too. It takes a little while to get kind of comfortable and good. Yeah, but like you say, if you know where the spot is, it's right in that area. I mean, you get there, you're going to go a little forward and backward, but if it ain't there, it ain't there. So, how's the Anaheim show for you all?
Busy.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good. Busy as in sales, busy as in networking, busy as in all the above.
All the above.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I talked to other breeders too, and the contingency was like everybody was doing good. Well, you know what I mean? Everybody was happy. Nobody was upset as far as people I talked to. So it's good. Everybody was making money.
No, that's really good to hear. And it's hard to know. I hear all the chatter, and I know the prices are a little bit lower, but I don't feel like the volume is slowed down, and I don't have enough experience. So like my platforms and probably my sales skills, the quality of my animals and the quantity of my animals are all at the height of what they've ever been. So like me comparing this year to last year, I've already doubled up last year's total sales for the whole year, but I have a lot more going on. I have, like I say, a lot more broader reach. I'm better at my sales chops, all that. So I don't know. What do you got? Are you guys ahead, behind, about the same as last year? What do you see?
As far as numbers wise, she does all the numbers.
Well, numbers wise, it's hard because like a lot of what we did take was still from last season. Like we only have 3 clutches out of the incubator so far.
Right.
Went to the show. But as far as like sales, Anaheim show last year versus this show, we're pretty spot on.
Oh, cool.
And same with like morph. I mean, it's been a little quiet on morph market, but as far as shows, about the same.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And see, I didn't do any shows last year. I've only been doing shows this year, but the first couple were kind of duds for me. And then I don't know if I got more recognizable, if I hit my stride knowing what I was doing. But the last few shows have just been bang up for me, and I can't wait we have Orlando and Daytona within 3 weeks of each other, which is just a blast. Like that's a great just stretch of fun and good. Like they're good shows. So, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, the point I'm trying to make, I haven't felt much of a crunch at all on, whatever supposed reptile recession or whatever's out there, so I see you kind of smirking. Looks like you're doing just fine then, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, I think at these shows too, you got to know the market, right? And your customers. And if you're taking animals that's not going to sell, like you're not going to sell them, right? You got to know what people want. And also, even if you have really good animals, sometimes there's stuff that people just don't want. So you're just not going to sell it, whether they're nice or not, or priced correctly. Just sometimes people aren't looking for what you have sometimes.
Oh, most definitely. I've got some beautiful genetic stripe. They're female banana genetic stripes. They don't get they don't get touched. I'm like, these are the best looking things in my display. These are beautiful. Like and nothing. And nobody else at the show has them. I'm like, I'm the guy. And anyway, so yeah, you learn that stuff. But what kind of, I wouldn't say price point specifically, but like what level of animal are you seeing the most volume at shows? Like, I feel like I sell different things at shows than I do on this show or on Morph Market or on different platforms. What are you seeing moving at shows?
We moved a lot of pieds. So regular pied, albino pied, a lot of like the single gene, like byproduct that we have moved for like those first time pet owners. People are always asking about blue-eyed Lucy's. We didn't have any this time. What else?
Bananas.
Oh yeah, bananas.
I love them. I know like a bunch of breeders just dump on people for bananas, but they sell. They're great. And they're killer looking. I posted an Enchi clown banana yesterday. That thing looks just phenomenal. He's great. I don't have a breeding purpose for him, but he's fantastic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get people there like the mid-range, like starting breeders that buy that stuff that's, $300, $400, $500 that works into their project, some pet stuff. And then you got other breeders that buy from other breeders. So that's where you sell the bigger stuff at, right? So you do a lot of pet stuff at these shows, but then the bigger stuff, like we sold to another breeder and I go buy from another breeder. That's where you have your bigger sales that you don't get during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good, I got to say that's pretty close to my experience. Like I'm kind of a numbers nut. I could tell you my average sale this year. Now I haven't wholesaled any yet this year. So that'll come up, that'll bring the number down, but non-wholesale sales, I'm averaging 480 an animal right now, which is right there in that kind of range you're talking about, kind of a higher end pet or entry level breeders that are really comfortable and kind of buying into that dream and want to get something going themselves too.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Any news to report from Anaheim? Anything you heard that raised your eyebrows or that was new? Like like us on the East Coast, all we've seen is just everybody else's Instagram for the past 5 days of it. Anything cool? What happened? Any good experiences there?
I feel like Rami did a great job of promoting the show, and I know he's doing a great job of promoting the one next month at Pomona, and I feel like there was a lot more foot traffic this year than last year.
Felt like it.
Yeah. So
you did. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really the only thing to report. Didn't hear any gossip or anything like that. Nothing.
I don't want that. I don't care about that stuff. Yeah, that's not me. I mean, if it was really good, maybe we'll talk. Like, message me. No, that's not my thing. Anyway, what's your show circuit like out there? I mean, we hear of, like you said, Anaheim, Pomona, Vegas. Are there a little bit smaller shows that you guys do too, or how often are those? How many shows a year are you doing?
Well, I'll go back to she can answer that question. I'll go back to the Anaheim one. I think one thing was different this year. There was a lot of people from out of state that came in, right? Like, you've seen a lot of new faces you haven't seen before at these shows. So I thought that was cool.
Cool. Forget the supposed reptile economy. The overall economy is really interesting. Like, I don't want to turn this into a show on economics, but like with the Fed raising rates, they do that because everything is going too good and that causes inflation. So they're trying to slow things down. And so there's this weird backwards time. Like, we just got this killer jobs report, and that scared the markets because they think the Fed is going to raise rates because everything is still too good. And so we get this message that like inflation is killing us, and it's not good, but the inflation is a result of things being good. So it's kind of this weird, like, mixed message, but it sounds like things are loosening up like a lot. If you see, I don't even mean like post-pandemic, I mean financially, like if you're seeing greater foot traffic and greater traffic from out of state coming in, I mean, those aren't cheap endeavors,
No,
not at all. But there are smaller shows out here. Repticon is out here, nowhere near as how it is on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Very little promotion, very tiny room. I think maybe 30 different breeders between reptiles, I guess geckos, snakes, bugs. They're all reptiles, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tiny.
I tell you, we joke here on the East Coast because they'll let anybody. There's somebody that sells roof gutters, and I'm like, I just don't put me next to the roof gutter guy. Okay, that's just I don't know what they're doing at the show, and I know, like, is that one table of the roof gutter guy that important? Or, I don't know. Maybe the roof gutter guy is like, I'm the only gutter guy here. I got the whole. I don't know. Like,
no, it's true. And then there's like another guy that does the he's Central Valley, so. He's doing the Vegas one this year. He does some like up in Northern California. But as far as Southern California, it's just Repticon and the Super Show.
Yeah.
And we want to do some more out of state. Maybe not even like Northern California shows and like close out of state, but it's just hard to get away though too. And logistics behind it and how much money you're going to spend. Is it worth it? You know, if you're going to go out there and have a $2,000 show and it costs you $1,000 to get out there, is it really worth it? You know?
Right. Yeah. I talk a lot about those logistics. Like in Florida, I'm lucky I have a pretty good network. Like I've never had to pay for a hotel room for a show. So that cuts down the cost. The farthest show that I do is Tampa, and that's 3 hours door to door. So, and I only set up one table. I've just now got my third ARS display case. So like my overhead's pretty small and the work involved is relatively small. How many displays do you all run when you go?
It depends. At every show we have a total of 6 in our possession. I think we did the 6 this time. Yeah. We also have an hour. But it depends like what we have on hand.
Of course.
Our first show we did 4, we've done 5, and then this last show is 6. But yeah. This time we split an end cap with our friends. The Pomona show, we're going to do the full end cap. So
all 4 tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you went 2 and 2 on this one?
Yeah. 2 tables.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll run 3 displays, 1 tower. And then if I'm close or I have a few more, I'll usually bring them bagged. And as I sell one, I'll pop another one up there. But that kind of caps me out. My displays are 14 each. So, 42 plus a tower, right about 50 snakes. I rarely have more than that, that I can bring anyway.
So you just run one table? Or is it 2?
Up to this point, I've always only done 1 table, and it's worked for me. I'm close to needing 2 or warranting 2. If I get up to those 18 clutches on, sort of similar to that conversation we were having earlier, if I get 18 clutches, which it still looks like I'm kind of on pace for, then I'll probably get another 1 or 2 displays and grab a second table, have a little bit more of a presence.
Then what do you just place? Like all 3, 4, 5s? Is it 3s, 4s, just 5s?
5, 5, 4, every one of them. So I do sorry for the audience. We're talking about the slots on the display. So 4s would hold most sub-adults, and then the hatchlings are for 5. And 3s, what do you guys think? Do you guys run adult, small males in 3s or only in the 2s?
This last show we did 2s.
2s. I think they fit better in 2s.
Yeah.
I think the 4s are the most versatile ones. You know what I mean? Because the fives, I think you can only keep them there so long. I think the 4s you can go a lot bigger, where it's 300-400 grams and they still look okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think other than like my adult like breeders that I'm rotating out in the tower, I think I've only got maybe 2 or 3 animals for sale that are north of 400 grams. So, I mean, my stuff moves, it's moving pretty well. And it's a weird spacing. I think I'm going to have clutches into December this year. I had 1 in December last year. So having that spacing really, really kind of helps as well too.
And it helps for shows too, to keep inventory spread out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it helps with logistics, the time in the day. It's fun. I'm sorry. I know you all can't see it. I've got just a massive incubator over here. I think I can stand upright in it and there's space above me. I mean, it's like 7 feet tall kind of thing, but there's 4 boxes in it right now. It's so fun. I've got 7 feet of a walk-in closet of an incubator, and there's 4 boxes in there. So I'm prepared for the future. I'm ready for that. So
you have to.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things. If it's good enough for 1 or good enough for 50, I don't need to replace it in the future. It's probably fine. It's a little overkill running it for 1, but I've got it. I'm ready, So, let's see. Cisco Snakes asks, what's the best way to find local shows? Because I'm in the AV, and other than the Super Show, I've never heard of reptile shows out here. I'm not sure what AV means.
What's it? Yeah, AV. Yeah, it's probably Antelope Valley.
Okay. What do you got? I mean, I would say for sure local Facebook pages, but I mean Instagram, you know, following local Instagram and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, following like the Repticon website, the Central Valley Pet and
yeah, Central Valley's gonna have the one.
He's gonna have
they had it in High Desert last time.
Yeah, and then San Luis Obispo, he'll have it. But other than that, there's only the 3 like promoters that do it out here.
That yeah. Oh yeah, Antelope Valley. Okay, cool. Tell me about how. So you guys are in, and for those of y'all that don't know, and y'all correct me where I'm wrong too, but Chino's just east of LA, where they call that the Inland Empire in there. Or you're not quite out to San Bernardino there.
We're Inland Empire.
Yeah, it's before San Bernardino.
Yeah, I usually fly into that airport in Ontario when I fly out there to LA.
It's from there.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you're out there. How's are there other breeders in your area that you know, or do you basically just have to go to shows and interact on Instagram? What's the scene? What's the community like there?
There's a lot of breeders in Southern California. Like if you go on Morph Circuit and then look at the little map, they're everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I live in Florida. I get it, man. There, but it's funny. Like they're all over. But in Northeast Florida, here in Jacksonville, there's part of why I wanted to do that breeder get together in October. Here is there's like no interaction that I've been able to see or experience other than 1 or 2 guys locally. One of them's my ASF breeder, and he's awesome. And a couple customers that that are repeat customers locally, but like I guess they're all over the place because I mean the shows do reasonably well and they sell in Jacksonville, other than the gutter guys table, but they sell in Jacksonville, and so I mean they're around, but it's just like there's no interactions. There's not, I don't know, the local like Facebook groups aren't they're okay. They're not great though.
Yeah.
Do you guys see any? I mean, are there any activities that you guys do, or interactions, or group chats, or whatever, or not really?
Besides like the Patreons we are on.
No, he's talking about like locally.
I know, and I'm just saying, maybe as far as interacting, we would at the shows, right? I mean,
well, Danny breeds his own rodents, and so we've picked up like a few like local breeders that we supply to. That we we have our like little circle now.
Yeah.
But as far as like the Facebook groups, it's like a lot of just random people offloading their. Oh, I have to rehome this and that kind of thing.
Yeah. People shouting at each other over, who knows
and it's
what.
Facebook, so
Right. Yeah. So everybody's an expert and slightly racist. So it's a weird place. Okay. So you're out there in Chino. How did you guys get mixed up with the Kittinger clan out here? And they're in just outside of Orlando, I think, right?
On a worst decision of our life.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, look, anything you need to get rid of that just brings you pain from Kittinger, you let me know. Okay.
Actually have, I think, a box or so coming in tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
We reached out to him, I think, before they were going to Tinley.
I don't know if it was that.
It was one of the shows because they said, sorry, because it's Holly too, that they were going to be releasing some of their like acid clown males. And so we reached out and we decided to pick one up. He said, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to drive it to you guys.
That was the story he told me. I was like, who are these people, man? I gotta know this.
He had a couple more that he dropped off out here. So instead of shipping everything, it was like, more expensive animals. He felt better just driving it. What I mean?
And I think he was a little gun shy on shipping because he had an incident.
Had some issues.
Yeah.
So he drove out here and then we just became the best of friends.
That's cool. So did I see him covering for y'all's table? Like, so they weren't vending out there, were they?
No.
Yeah. So he hit me up on Friday and he was like, you going to a show? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, I'm gonna come out. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, no, seriously. I was like, sure enough, Saturday morning he was out there.
Yep.
That's cool. And he just told you about it Friday night?
Yeah. He's like, I'm thinking about coming out there. And then so we called him. He's like, well, I don't know. And then he's like, I'm driving to the airport.
That's like the most Jason conversation though, right? Like, I don't know. Okay, I'll be there. See ya. So, sold Sold a double visual. I'll be there. All good.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And I mix up Holly's his wife.
Yes.
And then who's his sister? Is that Kelly?
Jen.
Jen, not Kelly. That's on the internet record now forever. All right, Jen. Yeah. Okay. Did they come out too, or just Jason? Just Jason. Gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah, I look forward to seeing them. I don't know. Sometimes he pops up at the local show. Well, I'll say local, but like the Orlando and the Tampa Repticons here, but he usually doesn't vend those, but he's always, he's got the sweet spot in Daytona right inside the entrance to the big room. Boom. There he is right there. It's like, man, how do you, I got to be around some time and know some people to get that slot there. But yeah, he's right there inside the door. Are y'all coming out? Do y'all come out to Daytona?
Maybe someday.
Yeah, we want to, but it's like you said, it's expensive, right? To fly all the way across the country and get a hotel and stay there, and
then worry about the snakes, the rats. Have to figure out the 3-kid situation.
Yeah, I get it. That vacation I took, I spent a good chunk of my vacation money on paying people to watch our dogs and figure out the logistics of the other stuff. Fortunately, Tito and Danny were cool enough to basically just help me out as favors. Like I get them back when they go out of town kind of thing. So it does work, but man, yeah, it's hard to figure it out. And then, yeah, you got kids and stuff too. That's yeah, it's a challenge. So that's a long way of saying no Daytona this year for you then.
Yeah. Not this year. Plus we have Pomona next month. So
I think if we went anywhere, we'd want to do like an October Tinley. And I think that would be worth at least the money. Not that Daytona wouldn't, but I mean, I'd want to go there first.
Gotcha. What? Well, actually, interesting. What makes you say that?
Just whatever he says that the October's the best one. Most people go there. Everybody's got the best stuff out.
Yeah. Gotcha. I have not been to one of the Tinleys, and I really, it's a toss up this year. I still may go if I keep having a bang up year, which I am, thankfully, knock on wood. I am. It's doing very well. But I got to pay off that vacation, and then it's hard to explain to my wife, hey, you take our son and the dogs. I'll see you in a few days. I'm off to Chicago for that's a tough conversation, So
he's like, oh, I'll just go by myself. I'm like, no, you're not going by yourself. I want to go too.
You can think about it. She's still thinking about it. Yeah,
not thinking about it.
Well, so my wife and son are in Minnesota right now, and I'm the one handling home base. So I remember when she's like, well, we're going to go that's where her family's from. And she's like, Charlie and I are going. I'm like, I'm not going. And she's like, well, you can, but we got to figure out what to do with the dogs. We will have just gotten back from vacation. I was like, I'm going to go to Chicago in October. Have a good trip. Okay. It's like doing the math. Perfect. That works great for me. Actually, I prefer to be at home. I like being here. I liked the trip that I took, but man, I was done. I was ready to get back home. So, what was your business strategy? And sort of when was the aha moment? I know you said that you kind of saw the potential and you talked to each other about the potential. What did you have a plan when you set out after that kind of moment? Like, was there an idea to say, hey, we're going to go and invest big, or was there like a surprise windfall? Did you spend a lot of upfront, or did you earn it as you went along? What was kind of your model that you followed?
I think you got that one.
I was waiting for you to cut me off right here. No, we didn't invest big. We just did little by little. So we invest some money, and it's not, we had like an outrageous amount of money to invest too. So, we'd invest some money and get the return on it, and then
put it back in.
Yeah, and you'd see like, hey, there is some money, and then you'd put a little bit more, invest that year, and you'd make a little bit more money, and then you buy an ARS rack, and then, then you're in the red, and then you buy some more animals still in the red, and then you make some, and you're hoping stuff sells, and it sells, and
good for you. That's the model that I preach, and a lot, and there's tons of ways to do it. I know breeders that have taken 6-figure home equity loans and are killing it, and like rich. They can do it that way. That terrifies me. I can't go taking a second mortgage on my home for some snakes, but that's encouraging to hear. I mean, that's the model that I preach, that, you can invest and make it and then reinvest it and build. So I'm hearing, I mean, this would be what, your fifth year kind of seriously breeding or breeding in a business focused mindset?
Probably like 3.5. So close to fourth year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And every season you invest a little bit more, right? So every season you're willing to go a little bit further because you know how much the return, there's the return there. As long as you do everything you should be doing, everything works out, animals breed, don't die, nothing happens. It's there.
Yeah. What do you all do? What's your what's your distribution model, so to speak? So we know about the shows, obviously, Morph Market. What other areas do you put a lot of focus in, or do you have other areas you put focus in to sell animals?
I mean, we've sold a few here and there on Instagram. I think we're more active on Instagram than obviously Facebook. I know a lot of people have great sales from Facebook, but that's just not been a platform we've really used.
Yeah.
Just shows and Morph Market. I think in the beginning we used Craigslist, and that was fun.
I bet that was a Wild West, huh?
Yeah.
Man.
No, it was.
Yeah. It's different.
When I was first starting out, I mean, that's where I bought my snakes. When I was first starting, like I couldn't really quite get my head around shipping animals, and the animals I was buying, it was costing as much to ship them as it would to buy, like it was just the very, very first beginning. And so, yeah, I was buying stuff on Craigslist and like I'm doing deals for breeder females in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. It's just kind of a funny, it's that female I was telling you, asking if I should give her a year off because I want to, like, she's one of my favorite breeders. That's the one I bought her in a Chick-fil-A parking lot in Columbia, South Carolina, like on a Craigslist deal. But I think we agree. We're not advising that. That's not the plan to go on.
Don't do it.
No. Yeah, don't do it. Just stop. Cut it out. like get to the place where you don't need to, you're not tempted on that anymore. So my experience lately is that Morph Market, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it just feels tougher lately. I'm not getting the interest, the action on Morph Market. Maybe it's my snakes, but what's happened though is that it's encouraged me, it's reinforced me to not put as much effort into Morph Market. So now I don't know if I'm not getting anything from Morph Market because I'm not working it, or if because it's just not there. What are you all seeing on that?
We do corn snakes too, and I feel like over the last 2 months we've moved quite a bit of our corn snakes, a few ball pythons here and there, but it is a little slower. But I think there's also people, I don't want to say undercutting, right? What's the different word?
Aggressively pricing animals.
There you go. Aggressively pricing animals. So
yeah, it's hard.
It is hard, but it's just like everyone, obviously the market is soft and they want to move their animals. So like you said, we're not really working Morph Market that hard at the moment. Like we got a few clutches we haven't listed because we're like, oh, we'll just take it. We have a few shows coming up. We have one next month. Like, let's just focus on that. And whatever's there, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's really funny. If somebody had asked me that question, I would have given nearly the exact same answer. Like I was dealing with a customer yesterday or today, a repeat customer. We keep in touch, chat, all that kind of stuff. And he said, he goes, Adam, because he was asking about something. I was like, oh, I think I got this. Oh, I think I got this. Oh, I can help. Oh, matter of fact, it wasn't Justin, but Justin's in the audience. This happened with him. I said, oh, you know what? I got another one of those that I just haven't listed on Morph Market. But part of it's because some of them just aren't worth listing at the price I would need to list to compete with. Like, I want those things to flush out. Like, fine, you want to sell a double visual for $500, more power to you, but get it gone. I'm not listing my stuff until that thing's out. Like I can't be held to crazy prices. Like, and I breed animals that I want, so I'll just keep it and breed. Like I'll keep it for down the line kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, most of them seem to be just a few animals off. I had a bunch of Ultramels last year, and right when I went to go post mine, Brian Barchek of all people, he posted like 15 of them for like under $200. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this now? Like, I can't compete with this,
Yeah.
So, So yeah, so you just hold out for shows though, when you're seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's how, like, if we go to post one and it's super undervalued than what we think it is, we're like, just don't waste the time on putting pictures and having to answer 50,000 questions, and just wait it out.
Yeah.
The same thing you said too, like if it's a project you're working, you can have it listed. Like we haven't really budged on some of our prices of our, like you said, Ultramels or Pied Hat Ultramels, because it's like we can just keep those and put them into our racks and use them in our projects.
Right. Yeah. I like going back to those banana G stripes. Like I'll work with somebody a little bit, but I'm not really going to budge on them. They're beautiful examples. I've got good stuff going on in my G stripe project. What, twist my arm to make me keep my females? Get out of here. I got no problem. You know, it's okay. Like I'll be all right, but I'll get aggressive and you know, I'll work with people, especially if there's like a volume buy or quantity buy. You know, those are good things. And I do want the customer to be happy. And I think pricing is part of that. So we got on a different tangent. How many shows in a year do you all do?
We do every super show. So I think that's what, 3 a year. And then I think we've done one Repticon so far this year, and then that Central Valley one that was in Orange County. And then we're going to do that Vegas one. So what, 6, 7? We want to go out of state, so we'll see what we do there.
Yeah, I'll get to like Arizona. What's the other one? Sacramento show.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But those I mean, that's a haul for you guys. What, the Arizona's probably 5 hours, and Sacramento.
Yeah. 5, 6, 7, something like that.
Sacramento's probably 6 hours, maybe 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah, I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but California's a big state, man. First time we went to LA, we flew in and we might have had a couple beverages, but we decided it was we just cruise up to Napa and check it out. It's like 6 hours later. I'm like, when do we get to Napa? Like, God.
It's fine. Like you think like, oh yeah, let's just go to San Francisco. Okay, see you in like 8 hours, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, and okay. So then us dummies. So yeah, we took the Central Valley Highway. What is that? 5?
5.
Yeah, 5. We took 5 up, and we're like, you know what? We're here. We may as well let's drive the PCH home. That'll be great. Back to LA. It's like 13 hours. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So yeah. So I mean, you're gonna get up to averaging around one a month. Do you think on shows?
I don't know. I mean, we've got to see though too. I'm just saying everything's it's with the kids too. If we have somebody to watch the kids, I mean, as they get bigger too, we'll be able to start taking them with us. But then you got to watch them too, and I don't know if they'd be helping more than running around. Yeah,
my son's 11. Like he handles himself okay at the show, but
they get bored.
Really. Oh, they get bored, and then you know the allure of the screen. Well, it's just right there. I could just sit and stare at that for the next 7 hours. You know, like I'm trying to do business. It's not worth fighting, you know. So I will say one thing that he's really good with is helping me out with like the petting zoo requests. Like I'm like, Charlie, we take one of our basically he's our pet. He's the male breeder stud that we've had for the longest period of time, and he's a het pied, so we don't really breed him anymore. And we take him. He's an orange dream het pied, and he looks great. I'm like, Charlie, anybody wants to pet a snake? Boom, you're taking. We call him Johnny. You're taking Johnny, and I want you out of the way so that other people can come up to the table. You got to get those kids away from the center of the table. So that is actually very helpful. He does really well with that. But otherwise, he's like, because we made a deal. I was like, I'll pay you $20 if you'll handle the petting zoo for each day. And now it's turned into like, I'm going to get paid to play Minecraft for 7 hours. And I'm like, dude, get up. Let's get to work here, pal.
Yeah.
Let's take just a minute. Let's pay some bills really quick. I got to thank our sponsors. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. 53 of y'all here. I appreciate it. There are more and more podcasts all the time, and I appreciate you being here. I know there's other places you could be, so thanks so much. Thanks for Redline Shipping. Go check them out. Use the promo code PROPER5. Give them a shot. If you have not, they're going to save you $5 on your next shipping label with PROPER5. And if you've ever seen my show, you know that I think the world of their customer service. I still do. I think they're the best in the industry, and that's what sets them apart. Lots of people get your snakes there on time and take care of you, but between their pricing and their customer service, you really can't beat Redline. So give them a shot. I also feed frozen thawed, and I only use cold-blooded cafe. I would feed every one of my steaks frozen thawed if they all took it. But as it is, about 90% of my collection from hatchlings to breeder adults take frozen thawed, and I use cold-blooded cafe. Use the promo code PROPER10. They're going to give you 10% off your whole order. That's some pretty serious cash, actually, when you fill a box of frozen rodents. So PROPER10, they're going to help you out on that. Chris at B and S Reptilia, it is hatchling season. He's got all kinds of stuff going on, and I'm not calling out the sponsor, but Chris, you got to let me know what you got going on so I can peddle it for you. You take good care of me. I want to take care of you. Get in touch with Chris, though. He has a variety of species, ball pythons, colubrids, various boas, and I'm sure all kinds of things that I know nothing about and am not well versed in. But I do know Chris was telling me it was hatchling season, and he's going to have all kinds of new stuff coming available across all species. So check out Chris at B and S Reptilia. He's the longest supporter, sponsor of this show. Grateful for Chris and his support. Check him out. B and S Reptilia. That's Chris Shelley. Last and certainly not least is Keith over at Kreative Genetics. He's our newest show sponsor. You'll see him the rest of this month. If you didn't catch it earlier, he has a stranger 100% het VPI pos het hypo clown. That's a female. She is available, and as I understand it, no promises, but as I understand it, Keith is pretty motivated to move that animal. He's got the rest of that clutch. He's got highways, ivories, leopard ivories, pastel leopard ivories, all of those available, and he also works with, I gotta find my notes. I was on a tear there. I didn't have this one memorized. He works with Axanthic, Hypo, Tri-Stripe, Pied, and DG. And to ease your mind, I actually bought an animal about 6 months ago from Keith at Kreative Genetics, and we've kept in touch. But I am a customer of his. I do own one of his animals, and I'm proud to own it. That is a VPI Axanthic het clown male that I bought from him that I'll be putting to use this fall, winter. So take care of the sponsors. I appreciate your patience while I highlight them, but they truly make it that I wouldn't have to, I don't worry so much about what I have to get done versus making sure there's good content for this community. And I didn't think about it. I got to check the exact date, but I know that Daytona 2021 was kind of the final inspiration for me to start this show, and it's about to be Daytona 2023. So we're coming up on 2 years of an episode every Tuesday night. So thank you all for being here. I couldn't do it without you, and I couldn't do it without guests like Renae, not Reagan. I get confused with Charlie at Renae Royal Pythons. Renae and Danny from Portuguese Pythons, and I got to interrupt here real quick. Jason, thank you so much. $20 is killer. That will pay for some rats. All super chats and whatnot go right back to the ball pythons. Let's feed some snakes, people. Cheers, man. Thank you. Get those likes up. Great show. Love Portuguese Pythons. Jason, that is killer, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's incredibly generous. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Let's talk about some genetic investments. What are you guys hot on right now? What do you see? I wouldn't say as the future, but well, maybe, hey, if you got a future prediction and you want to make it on the record, go for it. But what are you guys excited about working on? What are some of like your recent pickups that you're real excited about?
You want to go first? You want me to talk about it?
Go ahead.
I guess puzzle ultramel.
Okay.
We did
go
ahead. Sorry.
I just say, I just picked up a hypo het puzzle female, so I'm pretty pumped about that as well with the puzzle. But puzzle ultramel for you?
That's for next season. So he hopefully will be ready for next season. And then I think for this season,
got some double het sunset ultramel stuff.
Oh, cool. Did you have a chance to hit one of those, or you're working through the hets?
Just double hets, yeah. Make sure hets. And then maybe we got some DG pieds hopefully coming, the long odds.
Yeah.
And then ultra clown. What else?
Some pied, some cool, hopefully cool pied stuff coming too. So cool. I don't know. You can want what you want, but when you get those eggs and you don't hit the odds, but those odds will.
I need to like tattoo that on my forehead. You can want what you want, pal. Yeah, like that's the story of life right there, right? I mean,
how much money you spend, it doesn't matter. It's just, you can still not hit the odds. So.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying this conversation because like there's a lot of parallels, and I'm happy to see how well you all are doing on it. And I hear you saying that you're making your own double hets. Did you make your ultra clown stuff that you're working with, or was that an investment? What was the path on that?
Our breeder male this year was an investment, but we made some pairings last season that are our own that will hopefully prove out this year.
Yeah.
Yes, and the clowns it's all from double het stuff we made. The females that are going this year to make ultramel clowns is double het stuff we made. Same thing with like the DG pied stuff. Those are double hets we made that are going to go this year. So it's double het. But we were able to buy an ultramel clown to help with the odds this year with the double.
Oh, you bought a double visual?
Yeah, and I think
sweet.
Yeah, we bought them early last season.
Yeah, very cool. I have 2 years of female holdbacks of double head ultramel clowns that this winter they'll be ready. And I held back some double het males, but I had an opportunity to pick up a clown het ultramel, and I was like, yeah, let's at least cut these odds in half. Like, let's make them a little bit more feasible, you know? So I picked up him, and same story on Axanthic pieds. I've got, actually it's a triple het, but I picked up a triple het Axanthic pied lavender, and I picked up a Axanthic het pied to help with those odds instead of putting a triple to a triple. I'll worry about the lavender later kind of deal is what I'm just going to have to do, you know?
Did you think about getting the ultramel tested, the head ultramel, see if it's A or B? Or at least I think they only have A, right?
I don't know. I haven't. And actually not, but they're compatible though, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think for A, I think it is. But if you knew he was het A and then all the babies that come out that didn't come out ultramel, you can test him for ultramel A. But if he's B, then you can't test for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if they're, let me ask you, if they're compatible, what difference would it make?
It wouldn't. You would just, if she was B and he was A, then you wouldn't know. You would only test the babies that would come out A on his side. But if she was A and he was A, then you can test the ones you wanted to keep. Like if you had a clown come out and you wanted to test for ultramel, you could. That way you can sell it as a het ultramel.
Oh. Yeah. Because the ultramel side will be 66%.
Right. Yeah.
I got you. I see what you mean. So because there's only one test, if it's not one, then it would have to be.
Yeah. So I have the puzzle ultramel, right? Het ultramel. So if I test for A, I can breed them to whatever I want. Everything's going to be het puzzle, and anything I like, I can test for ultramel and know if it's 100% if he's ultramel A.
I got you. But if it's ultramel B, you'd be stuck at listing at 66%.
Right. Yeah.
I got you. No, I didn't know that. Well, that's a perfect example of why I do the show. So, okay. So a test for ultramel.
Gray Rider was on your, didn't he say that he can test for A? I thought I heard him say he could test for A. I thought, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm misspeaking, but
he might have. Hang on. I'm such a nerd. I have my show notes from his show. He called it Ultramel 1.
Yeah. So
yeah, he died. Yeah, I have Ultramel -1 written down here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if your male is het 1 or whatever they call it, and when you breed them to anything you want to keep or test for Ultramel 1, then you can.
Yeah. Well,
and
the
whatever.
The females have ultra male as well. So I should probably test both of them, huh?
You would have to, right? Because if you
Right.
didn't make those heads yourself with my heads I made with an ultra male, so I know whatever that ultra male is, all those heads from him are A's or whatever it is, or B's.
Yeah, they all came from one of my females. So I should test that matriarch and then test the new breeder male for the het.
If it's worth it, though, right? I mean, if it's not worth the money, there's no point to do it. But I mean, if it starts getting up there where it's going to make a difference between $2,000 or $3,000, then yeah, maybe you would want to test it.
Yeah, and like I'm getting spoiled and snotty and bratty and all that, but I can't stand POS hats like and 66%. Like, what's my real sales angle there? It's nothing. It doesn't do me any good, and so I miss out on the money, and the other person either gets a screaming deal or they get let down. Like it's a losing. Like all the different outcomes are not that good, and that's why I wanted to cut out some of those odds too. I wanted to eliminate the possibility of something being totally normal. I wanted at least there to be 100% het, 66% something else. You know what I mean? So at least I would have something, and I could guarantee, maybe not a return, but I could guarantee chances are good I could cover my cost on that improved male with no problem. You know, yeah, I've got to talk to Charlie about that now. That's good. I actually have like 5 or 6. I'm looking over here. All my sheds are hanging up in bags on my calendar over here, but I probably need to do that. I would be smart. Yeah. Cause they all came from the same mom. She's just my big beast of a female ultra male. She's a big pinstripe girl. I have to give her, that might be worth doing. Now would I know? Oh, he would be able to tell me if it came back. If it came back nothing, totally negative, that would make her 2-2 or BB
or whatever they want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. If she came back with 1, she would be AB, or she'd come back with 2 A's.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how it works, though. I don't know if it's just either it's an A or a B or 1 or 2. And when you breed 1 and 2 together, they still either make 1 or 2. You know what I mean? Not like the PG thing. I don't know.
Well, I'm just thinking if the result only showed 1 A, it wouldn't be visual because she's a visual. So the other one would have to be the 2, right?
Maybe, or maybe you got to ask him and see what he said.
Yeah.
It's
not like the DG thing where there's 3 of them, though. Yeah. It seems like there's somebody that's better at logic and probably like computer programming would know better than that. Like that's one of those logic if then flows. That's really interesting. Yeah. Cause then I could eliminate the, for my little tirade there about how much I dislike 66%. That would cure that problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'd want to do 12 because it'd get expensive, but maybe the ones you'd either want to keep or sell, you know what I mean? Sell it for that, difference in price.
Yeah. Well, like the ones that I hit the visual clown on, I would. If it was just the het clowns, maybe I would, het clown, POS ultra male, man, I don't know. But yeah, visual clown, 100% het ultra male. That test will pay for itself. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I learned something. So this shows a success already. That's great.
That's all it takes. Is that one little thing. Huh?
But yeah, well, yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, that's knowledge that could make me a significant amount of money on 2 clutches next year.
You got to ask him though. See if I don't know if I'm explaining it right. I think he's probably going to be able to explain it better.
Right. I mean, I'll go to somebody that's confident or hell, actually, I bet Jessica on Thursday's podcast. I'm not saying you don't know. I mean, I don't know either. So we're more than you knew of it. I don't know. I didn't know anything of it. And it was really funny that you cited my own show. You're like, no, that was on your show. And sure enough, on my notes, but no, I had missed that. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I've got some hypo clowns that are double het to double het, but I think one of my, anyway, I've got to test one of my male clowns. I believe he's het hypo, which is gonna speed that up quite a lot. I think that's another, that one wasn't a Chick-fil-A. That was a gas station in North Carolina pickup, Craigslist. So he's been a little bit of a wild card, but he's a stud, man. He makes clutches every year. Mark in the audience there, 403 Fauna. He's a San Diego guy, actually. Mark's got one of his babies, and Mark is actually the one that convinced me that he must be had hypo. He's convinced that the banana baby that he has is a hypo female, and I only knew the dad to be a pastel clown. So we've compared notes, and I've compared sheds and clear sheds. And have you seen the show where I talked about on bananas? Like I would circle their spots with a Sharpie, and then when they shed, see if the spot was still in the shed or not. And that all evolved from the weird results that dad gave. So I've got to talk to Charlie and get him to test her for hypo for me. So, Mark, you got to chime in. Is your conclusion that she's still hypo? Because I really haven't proven it otherwise. I've proven the mother's hypo, but not the dad. So we'll see what he says in the comments there. Yeah. So what's like your most anticipated clutch this year? You have just one, or do you have a couple?
No, the problem is it's gonna get me all depressed right now. The problem is the girls some of the projects, the girls we wanted to go, like the most anticipated ones, was the ones that reabsorbed.
Yeah. I know.
There's still a lot of stuff that we're excited about. It's it's just those specific ones that you're hyper focused, and you're just like, can't wait. And then you're like, oh, cool. You're like ultrasound. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I do know. I've got my biggest girl. This is going to be the third season that she's been like over 2,500, 2,800 grams. I still don't know if she's going to go this year, man. Like they're in there. They're still at 26. I'm like, give me 30. Come on, get. It's like we'll see. Like say, what'd you say? You can want what you want, man. We'll see.
I think we've black pastel leopard acid clown. We got them bred to the Mojave, so she drops. So those should be cool. I think that bell complex in there is going to look really good. If we hit it.
Really, brighten some, really bring a lot of highlights in there, huh? Yeah. And cool pattern for that matter.
So hopefully 2 chances at DG pies. It's double head, but there's some codons in there too. It should be cool.
Yeah. With 2 clutches, I mean, what's that? 1 in 16. So I mean, you shoot something in there. Not that the eggs care about the odds, but in theory, that should be something. That acid, did you get that acid clown from Jason?
Yeah, that's the one that was driven across country here.
Oh, what'd you say it was? Acid?
Black acid leopard clown.
Yeah, that's a sweet animal. That'd probably finance a road trip all right, especially with 2 or 3 others in tow. But yeah, that'd pay for a couple tanks of gas, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I hope he pays. Is it a male or a female?
Male.
Yeah, I hope he pays off for you. Yeah, that's like the classic strategy. You is it Mojave clown or Mojave het clown?
Mojave clown. So everything will be clown. So at least it'll help the odds.
Right. Yeah. So you got a Mojave clown, which is a really attainable animal, especially, if somebody's starting out that could look down the line. And then as you build up your finances and repertoire, then you go snag that acid black pastel leopard clown. Wow. That's a nice animal. How many did you only breed him to two clutches?
Another sensitive subject you're bringing up right now.
I mean, I'm just the guy, these are just the thoughts that come into my mind. I don't know, man.
I think we had him paired up to 8. And what we're looking at right now is 3 definite clutches.
Yeah. The ones that reabsorbed are the ones that, you know what I mean? So that's how lucky we got.
Yeah, I gotcha.
There's next season.
Yeah, there's next season.
Don't worry.
Do you ever watch you're gonna be like, what in the world is that I'm talking about? Do you ever watch like poker on TV, like the World Series of Poker or whatever? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They're coming up my shorts right now. I don't know why.
Oh, that's real weird, actually. Yeah. Well, anyway, I used to really be into poker, but I would watch it on ESPN and they'd show like different scenes from around Vegas or whatever. And there was a guy that was like the homeless dude with a sign, and it was like, I'll listen to your bad beats for $5. Like, I want to be like, I'll listen to everybody's like missed odds for $5. We'll do a USARK fundraiser. Everybody could just complain to me one night. But no, I got an acid het clown male from Dale, Jason's buddy, Constricted Reptiles there. And he proved het for clown, and from a test, he was sold to me as possible het clown. So I was like pumped. I was like, sweet, I got a pretty good deal on it. And then him being het clown was fantastic. That male he's tipping the scales 900, 950 grams now. Will not lock. Just what you're talking about, except mine never locked. So I didn't even have a chance to get the pairings and then the reabsorption. Like, I had them lined up with like 5 females, I think. And then I was like, they're growing, and there's just no lock. And I was like, man, I gotta change up these pairings fast, or else I'm gonna miss the window. So I got an acid het clown in a tub doing nothing, twiddling his thumbs, just hanging out, his little snake thumbs. He's just twiddling, you know. So
next season.
Yeah, next season.
Next season.
That's what we keep telling ourselves.
You have to, though. I mean, if you don't, then you're just gonna be pissed off all the time. You know what I mean? It's just gonna happen. You got to just roll with it. You know, next year you just breed them again, find other females to breed them, and you're gonna make the stuff you want. Just a year later, which is fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. We can't afford the alcohol that we need right now, which is ironic because if we could afford it, we wouldn't need the alcohol. But it's fine. Everything is good. Those are just conversations I have with myself. What, if you don't mind me asking, what stage are either one of y'all going? Have either one of y'all or both of y'all gone full time on this yet, or not? Or what's the trajectory of that look like?
Well, I still work full time, and then she stays at home and takes care of the kids. It's full time as it is.
Cool. Do you think in the future that's a goal, or you're at a good balance right now where obviously there's dependability that comes with a job and a career? So I mean,
I think that it's good. I think even if we do it to a point where I could not work, I think either one of us would work, just because of that stability. You know what I mean? Because insurance and all that, it's nice even to do a part-time job with it. You know, you don't have to. That's one less thing to worry about. So I think no matter what we do, we'd still, one of us either work full-time or part-time, just for that. Yeah.
And do you have any 2-person show? Do you have any help that comes with you, or investors behind the scenes kind of deal? Or
well, we usually vend with Hernandez Reptiles.
Okay.
At least they always vend with us, but then when we don't vend with them, it's just me and her.
Yeah, it's just us.
But when it's them, with them,
not true, because also Travis from Enigmatic Reptiles, he's helped us out at a couple of shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just us.
Yeah, but I mean, around the home, day to day.
No, just us.
Yeah.
I have my grandma that will watch the kids. She's watching the baby right now. So.
Oh yeah, she doesn't.
No, as far as in the room, it's just
yeah. Let's do an episode with Grandma in the snake room. That's what we're gonna. That's the.
She's warming up. She's getting better.
Is she okay? Yeah, my wife's mother, she won't even everything is a euphemism. So my garage is converted into the facility, AC and insulated and all. And her expression is out there. She won't even be she won't even say, she's like, how's everything out there? And I'm like, that the snakes, they're good. They're contained. They're not running free, planning their attack. They're going to be good. But yeah, she won't even say the words. It's just, we just don't talk about that. And literally, it just won't. They'll be here 4 or 5 days from Arizona. Won't get brought. Not even the word will be brought up. It's kind of funny. So. I can't complain. My wife is supportive, and that makes it very easy. So, and actually, she's good. She won't get into she would, but she doesn't get into the day-to-day cleaning. But business plans, purchasing decisions, that stuff she's really active on. And then she knows more about it than she lets on. Just every now and again out of the blue, she'll be like, what's that het girl doing? She provide yet or not? She's got 25% odds. Where are these eggs at? I'm like, what have you been studying out here? What's going on? So she knows, and it always seems like I get clutches of eggs when I'm away at shows, you know. So she'll pull moms and off the eggs and put the eggs away. And also, I think you're in. If you're pulling moms off eggs, you're in. You count
for sure.
Yeah, mom's not doing that though.
No, me.
Yeah.
Oh
no, the mom, the mom watching the kids.
Nope. She'll come in here and like I'll open like a tub and she'll look at it and she's like, "Oh, that would make like a pretty boot," and I'm like, "Get out of here!"
Oh yeah, that's like the wrong. Yeah.
No, like, but and she'll look around. She's like, "Oh, that's pretty," but no, she won't touch them.
I got you. Well, all in due time, hopefully, you know.
Maybe we'll see.
So when's the next show? You said I think Pomona.
Yeah, August 12th and 13th, I think it is.
Less than a month,
right. Yeah, right before Daytona too. That's the weekend before Daytona.
Yeah.
Cool. Where can everybody find you? I know for sure Instagram and Morph Market. Where else can people find you?
Email.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. Well, like I have a Facebook, but we're not super active on that.
Yeah.
What else? I started a TikTok, but kind of dropped off that because that's, it's kind of like the younger generation.
Yeah, I never could make heads or tails of TikTok. I gave it an honest shot, but it just wasn't taking. And the returns just weren't there. The community and the cut to the chase, the sales weren't there, and the community wasn't there. So like, clicks and follows are nice, but if there's just nothing whatsoever coming from it, I kind of put it on the back burner. It's still out there. You can see it. I even tried a couple weird Python dances because I think that's what you're supposed to do on TikTok. So that's there if anybody wants to look.
Yeah, mostly just Instagram and Morph Market, email, that type of thing.
Cool. Well, I want to say thank you all very, very much for being on the show. Everybody go check out Portuguese Pythons. And so Pomona and where's the next show after that?
Las Vegas.
And that's when? That's September?
September, the weekend of, I think it's September 10th and 11th or 11th and 12th, or it's like that around those dates.
That's a nice stretch to do Anaheim, Pomona, and Vegas in what? A stretch of like 9 weeks or something?
Yeah, and we'll have a lot of babies
we should have a lot more by September.
Right. Yeah, it's a cool time of year. It's a fun time of year. I know the market gets a little bit not flooded the way everybody talks about it being flooded, but just because there's a ton of hatchlings in the market. So it probably gets a little bit tougher, but that's a cool time of year for sure. Well, I hope our paths cross. I really appreciate y'all making this happen. I know we've been planning it for quite some time and looking forward to it. So thank you so much for being on the show. Let's do it again and come back early next year, or this time next year. We'll see where each other's at. And your acid black pastel leopard, he's just going to be hooking it up, and they're all going to be delivering and all going 30 millimeters for everybody. It's going to be it'll be a rock and roll showcase this time next year.
To rest up.
That's right. Yeah, he just needs a day at the spa for a little bit, he's just got to chill. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll audience come back next week. We'll have Steve Casino. If you haven't met him, that's Steve's Morphs, and I'm really grateful to have him on the show. Super thanks to Portuguese Pythons. Renae, Danny, you all get the last word, and when you're done, I'll hit the music. What do you got for us?
Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much, Adam, for having us. We appreciate it. It was fun. What else?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that went out to the show and then came and talked to us, stopped by. Everybody's picked up snakes from us. A huge thank you to everybody at the show that helped us. Jason for coming out, Travis, Enigmatic, and then obviously Ivan and Elise from Renae and Reptiles. So make sure you check all of them out. And
you gotta send some notes out and say, hey, come hang out on Adam's show. The Tuesdays are relentless. They never stop. Tuesday always comes around. There's always got to be another guest.
Yeah. We'll send some feelers out and see what we can find.
Cool. We'll stick around for just a second in the green room. I'll catch up with you in just a second. Everybody, thank you all so much for joining. It felt good to get back in the saddle. Thank you. And I will see you all next week. Good night.